The Sudan People's Liberation Army is the army of the Republic of South Sudan. The SPLA was founded as a guerrilla movement in 1983 and was a key participant of the Second Sudanese Civil War. Throughout the war, it was led by John Garang.The Mabior. Following John Garang's death in 2005, Salva Kiir was named the new Commander-in-Chief of SPLA. As of 2013, the SPLA was estimated to have 210,000 soldiers, as well as an unknown number of personnel in the small South Sudan Air Force. The SPLA is divided into divisions of 10,000–14,000 soldiers. Following South Sudan's independence in 2011, the SPLA became the new republic's regular army. History. In 1983, a number of mutinies broke out in the barracks of the Sudanese army in the southern regions, most notably in Bor. These mutineers would form the nucleus of SPLA. By June 1983, the majority of mutineers had moved to Ethiopia, or were on the way towards Gambela. The Ethiopian government's decision to support the nascent SPLA was a means of exacting revenge upon the Sudanese government for the support of Eritrean rebels. SPLA was led by Commander-in-Chief John Garang.The Mabior. SPLA struggled for a united and secular Sudanese state. Garang stated that the struggle of the South Sudanese was the same as that of marginalized groups in the north, such as the Nuba and Fur peoples. Until 1985, SPLA directed its public denouncements of the Sudanese government, specifically at Namiri. During the years that followed, SPLA propaganda denounced the Khartoum government as a family affair that played on sectarian tensions. SPLA denounced the introduction of Sharia law in September 1983. War in the 1980s. In the village of Bilpam, the first full-fledged SPLA battalion graduated in 1984. The name Bilpam would carry a great symbolic importance for SPLA for years to come, as the epicenter of the uprising. After Bilpam, other SPLA training camps were established at Dima, Bonga and Panyido. In the mid-1980s, the SPLA armed struggle had blocked the development projects of the Sudanese government, such as the Jonglei Canal and Abencha oil fields. SPLA launched its first advance in Equatoria in 1985–1986. During this campaign, SPLA were confronted by a number of pro-government militias. The conduct of SPLA forces was chaotic, with many atrocities against the civilian population. The SPLA drove out around 35,000 Ugandan refugees back into Uganda. SPLA had a complicated relationship with Anyanya II. Anyanya II forces blocked the expansion of SPLA between 1984 and 1987, as Anyanya II attacked SPLA recruits heading towards the SPLA based in Ethiopia. Anyanya II also attacked civilians believed to be SPLA supporters. The conflict between Anyanya II and SPLA had a political dimension, as Anyanya II sought to build an independent South Sudanese state. SPLA did, however, try to win over the leaders of Anyanya II to the fold. The Anyanya II commander Gordon Kongchul aligned with SPLA in late 1987. Other sectors of Anyanya II would follow his example over the coming years, rendering the remainder of Anyanya II marginalized. Another force which confronted SPLA were the Mura'ilin militias in northern Bahr el Ghazal. Warfare between SPLA and Mura'ilin began in 1987. By 1988, SPLA controlled most of the northern Bahr el Ghazal. Unlike the Anyanya II, however, the Mura'ilin had no political ambitions. political openings. SPLA boycotted the 1986 elections. In half of the constituencies of southern Sudan, elections could not be held due to the SPLA boycott. In September 1989, the RCC invited different sectors to a national dialogue conference. The SPLA refused to attend. On November 15, 1988, SPLA entered into an alliance with the DUP. The two parties had agreed on the lifting of the state of emergency and abolition of Sharia law. The press release was made public through an announcement on Radio SPLA. After DUP rejoined the government, a ceasefire with SPLA was achieved. After the elections, negotiations between SPLA and Sadiq al-Mahdi had been started, but the talks were aborted as SPLA shot down a civilian airplane. 60 people were killed in the attack. With the NIF coup d'etat in 1989, all peace talks ended. SPLA launched a major offensive between 1989 and the fall of the Ethiopian-The government in 1991. It captured various towns, such as Bor, Wat, Yambio, Kaya, Kafokaji, Nimul, Kapita, Torit, Akobo and Nizia. By the middle of 1991, SPLA controlled most parts of southern Sudan with the exception of the major garrison towns between January 21 and January 29, 1990. SPLA shelled Juba town. SPLA forces also moved into the Nuba Mountains and the southern parts of the Blue Nile state. In comparison with its 1985–1986 offensive in Equatoria, the conduct of SPLA was now more orderly. 1991, setback and split, but the downfall of the government in Ethiopia in May 1991 caused a major setback. The Ethiopian government had provided the SPLA with military supplies, training facilities and safe haven for bases during 18 years. Soon after the change of government in Ethiopia, SPLA accompanied hundreds of thousands of refugees back into Sudan. A split in SPLA had simmered since late 1990, as Lamekol and Riek Machar began to question Garang's leadership. Lamekol began secretly contacting SPLA officers to join his side, especially amongst the Nuer people and Shilluk people. The situation deteriorated after the fall of the Derg. As the Derg regime crumbled, Lamekol published a document titled Why Garang Must Go Now. The split was made public on August 28, 1991 in what became known as the Nazir Declaration. The dissidents called for democratization of SPLA and a stop to human rights abuses. Moreover, the dissidents called for an independent South Sudan. Kong Kul joined the rebellion. The SPLA Nazir was joined by the SPLA forces in Ayod, Wat, Adok, Abong, La and Akobo. A period of chaos reigned inside SPLA, as it was not clear which units sided with Garang and which units sided with SPLA Nazir. Garang issued a statement through the SPLA radio communications system, denouncing the coup. 9 out of 11 SPLA MPMHC members sided with Garang. The mainstream SPLA led by John Garang was based in Torit. The two SPLA factions fought each other, including attacks on civilians in the home turf of their opponents. As of 1992, the Sudanese government launched a major offensive against SPLA, which was weakened by the split with SPLA Nazir. SPLA lost control of Torit, Bor, Yerol, Piba, Pochla and Kapita. SPLA made two attacks on Juba in June to July 1992. SPLA nearly captured the town. After the attacks, the Sudanese government forces committed harsh reprisals against the civilian population. Summary executions of suspected SPLA collaborators were carried out. On September 27, 1992, the Deputy Commander-in-Chief of SPLA, William Nguyen, defected and took a section of fighters with him. SPLA recaptured Bor on November 29, 1991. Mid-1990s. As of the mid-1990s, the majority of the population of southern Sudan lived in areas under the control of either the mainstream SPLA or SPLA Nazir. 2005 peace deal. In 2004, a year before the peace deal, the Coalition to Stop Child Soldiers estimated that there were between 2,500 and 5,000 children serving in the SPLA. Following the signing of the CPA, a transformation process of SPLA began. This process was actively supported through funding from the United States. In 2005, John Garang restructured the top leadership of SPLA, with a Chief of General Staff, Lt. Gen. Oyedeng Ajak, and 4 Deputy Chiefs of General Staff, Maj. Gen. Salva Mathok Maj. Gen. Birajang Aswad, Maj. Gen. James Hothmayan, Maj. Gen. Obuta Mamur Meet. Ministry of Defense. In 2007, the SPLA was further organized into the Ministry of Defense. Gen. Dominic Dimdeng, an SPLA veteran and distinguished general, was chosen to become the first Minister for SPLA Affairs, subsequently the first political officer of the SPLA. Gen. Dim died in a plane crash in 2008, alongside his wife Madam Josephine Apugenaro Aiken and other SPLA officers. He is buried alongside his wife at the SPLA headquarters in Bilfam, Juba. Deputy Chief of Staff James Hothmai replaced Oyedeng Ajak as Chief of General Staff in May 2009. In 2010, U.S. diplomats reported that Zamora made a point to discuss how the SPLA needed to be reorganized. He stated that the SPLA was top-heavy, carrying nearly 550 general offices and providing more than 200 security guards for each minister. The government of Southern Sudan named the SPLA headquarters outside Juba, Bilpam. Work on a national security strategy began in late 2012. 2013 political crisis. On December 15, 2013, fighting broke out in Juba between different factions of the armed forces in what the South Sudanese government has described as a coup d'etat. President Salva Kiir announced that the attempt was put down the next day, but fighting resumed December 16. Military spokesman Colonel Philip Aga said that some military installations had been attacked from armed soldiers, but that the army is in full control of Juba. Quote, he added that an investigation was underway and that though the situation was tense, it was also unlikely to deteriorate. Organization and equipment. Current organization. The SPLA is operationally commanded by the Chief of General Staff. The COGS oversees 5 directorates, each led by a Deputy Chief of General Staff. Administration, operations, logistics, political and moral orientation, training and research. The SPLA currently has 9 divisions and a small air force, all of which report to the DCOGS operations. 1st Division, rank, Upper Nile State. 2nd Division, Giada Barracks, Juba, Central Equatoria State. 3rd Division, Windhoek, Northern Bahr el Ghazal State. 4th Division, Mabior, Western Bahr el Ghazal State. 5th Division, Guarantee Barracks, War, Western Bahr el Ghazal State. 6th Division, Maradi, Western Equatoria State. 7th Division, Awachi, Upper Nile State. 8th Division, Bor Junglei State. Mechanized Division, Mabior, Western Bahr el Ghazal State. A Special Forces Brigade with 4 battalions. The The Sudan People's Air Force, Juba, Central Equatoria State, per a 2015 security agreement with the Sudan People's Liberation Movement in opposition, military forces currently stationed in Juba, Bor and Malakla to be moved to bases at least 25 kilometers outside of each respective city. The Presidential Guard at Giada Barracks and SPLA's General Headquarters in Bilpama authorized exceptions to the agreement. Equipment. As of 2013, the SLPA's land forces operated the following heavy equipment: 110 XD-72, a small number of T-55 tanks, 12x2S1 Gvizdika, 12x2S3 Akatsia, 15 XBM-21 Grad, Mamba APC, more than 30 82mm mortars. As of 2013, the South Sudan Air Force operated the following aircraft: 1X Beechcraft 1900, 9X Mi-17, 1X Mi-172. Defense expenditure. According to the 2013 edition of the International Institute for Strategic Studies report, the military balance, South Sudan's defense budgets since 2011 have been as follows.